cuffs are off, man. Get right, too many left in these leagues, but I ain't going.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking often, but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. It's mock draft season. We're here for another mock tonight, and I wouldn't want to do it with anyone better than my boy Classic Mike. What up, Classic Mike? How are you tonight?
Good, man. Friday night, excited, ready to get another mock going.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be a fun one. Got a 1 QB tonight. As always, we'll be discussing some nice draft strategy. We have a fun little twist. I got a little game that we're going to play here, a little fantasy poker. So we'll see. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to change the name. We'll
Ethan, thank you.
Appreciate
thank you for that laugh. That was good.
It was a rush to get in here tonight. Some of the finer details we didn't leave to, but yeah, you could call me AKA Laptop. I like it. That's a good one. We'll talk about some news. A lot of news going on this week, man. So that's a lot of fun. But before we get into it, man, I got to ask you, how was the SFB, man? Scott Fishbowl live draft in New York. Tell the people about it, man.
Oh my God. It was a blast. I got to meet so many great people. I got to meet Hutch. If you guys follow him on Twitter, man, he's a great in person, great guy. I had a really good time with him. I helped with the stickers for his particular league. So I was putting up stickers for his whole group. Also, I got to meet guys like Sal Leto, JB, Russ from the Podathon. I got to meet literally 3/4 of the Podathon during that whole thing, which was kind of cool. I got to meet Scott Angle, the Hall of Fame guy, or the Hall of Famer himself, the King. I got to meet Rick Wolf and Glenn Colton of Colton and the Wolfman. They're in my league, which is pretty cool. I got to meet with them and mock with them throughout I didn't get to mock with them at the event, but I got to mock with them throughout the week, which is cool. They talked about our draft on their show, I think 2 or 3 days ago. But we had a blast. I got to meet Tyler, FF Creator, which was great. He was a great help. I really enjoyed being around him. Bobby Cables, if you guys haven't heard of him, you should look him up. He's fantastic. Great follow, great guy. Just so many great people. I mean, honestly, I could keep going on and on because there were so many wonderful people at this particular event. I got to meet one of our guys that we had in a draft that I called Fat Dad.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Seth. He was there. He was having a blast.
That's cool, man.
So it was great. We had a really good
gotta
time.
get to a live draft next year, man. Maybe I can figure out a way to get out to LA. Shout out to our very own Tycoon and Tim, who were drafting back-to-back in their own live draft in LA. So I know they had a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get them on here soon to talk about it as well. But yeah, man. So I'm sure the people are ready. Let's get started. Why don't you bring up the draft board? While you're doing that, of course, gotta take a moment to thank our sponsors. Gotta pay the bills around here. UnderdogFantasy.com. Oh, there you go. Hey, I don't mind the close-up. Oh, you're gonna go solo. Let's see what you're doing.
My bad.
It's okay. The producer's going crazy right now.
Yeah.
But it's all good, man. UnderdogFantasy.com. For those of you guys who don't know, it's a best ball platform. Get out there, draft your season-long team. Basically, it's set it and forget it. You don't have to do any waiver wire moves, no trades, nothing like that. You just draft your team and plays out. Of course, they have the Best Ball Mania 4 going on right now. First place, $3 million. Second place, $2 million. Third place, $1 million. So hopefully me and your boy Classic Mike here hit one of those this year. And
nice.
Next year it'd be a lot of fun. So that'll be good. And then, of course, when you do, the links in the description, use that promo code GETRIGHT. And when you do, you will get that 100% deposit match up to $100. And, it's basically 2 times your money, man. So get in there, try it out. It's great mocking, just makes for a good time. You won't have people leaving, halfway through. And otherwise, you got to come in here and mock with us. So there you go. There it is. I was like, I knew we had something.
Yeah. I was
Perfect.
going through the whole thing.
It's all good. It's new. We're trying to make upgrades here, guys. We're bringing it to you. And speaking of tournaments, man, you guys see it scrolling down here at the bottom. Make sure you guys check out our Get Right Fantasy mock draft tournament of champions. It starts on Monday the 31st. We're gonna run that tournament all the way through August, and make sure you come check it out, man. We'll be mocking every night, Monday through Thursday. Our ambassadors will be running those drafts. It'll be a lot of fun. Get out there. And of course, you'll be able to earn, entries into our listener league. And of course, the whole idea is to make it to that finale. So it's a lot of fun. So make sure you guys go check it out. Our mock draft tournament coming up. So the draft's going right here. Why don't you tell them a little bit about what we're doing tonight? What kind of settings and scoring we got set up for it?
So tonight we're going to be doing a 1 QB, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, half PPR league with 6 bench spots. This is a normal type of draft for the most part. This is what you would see in your home leagues most often. It's a very simple format. So you can focus, in this particular format, it's based on how you feel, but you could probably focus a little more on, running back here, or you can focus on wide receiver. It doesn't really matter. It kind of makes it where you're having either 3 or, 3 of each, or, you can even do 4 wide receiver if you really wanted to. But we'll, when it's half PPR, I like focusing more on running backs just because of the fact that it's half PPR. So it's, the closest thing to standard. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's evident what you're seeing right here. Basically, now your best ball drafts are 3 wide receiver. Jefferson and Chase are going 1 and 2. But right here, we see McCaffrey and Eckler go 1 and 2 because those running backs are going to get pushed up. So it'll be, a little different, but pretty much your usual suspects as far as your top 6 picks. But I'm definitely, lean a little more running back heavy on, half PPR and only having to start 2 wide receivers in a flex. So I think, for this type of roster construction, I personally like Hero RB here. And you can even get away with a modified robust RB as well. Even snag maybe 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds. And you should still be able to get some nice value there. So I can't believe everybody left this guy here for me, but I'll take Nick Chubb
You bastard.
right here. So
I
didn't even realize you were right behind me. This is
right there.
Fun.
I was waiting the whole time. I'm sitting there like, he's falling. He's coming to me.
No, classic. I actually have him ranked, man, number 3.
I have him at 1
RB overall. Oh, he's your 1. All right. Well, there you go.
I have him at RB1.
Definitely. Well, since we're just finishing the first round, and as you make your last pick there, and I'll get through my pick, why don't we bring up our first round of our fantasy poker, man? We'll do our bet, check, and fold here the first round. Basically just kind of like a keep trade cut, or rank 1, 2, or 3. But we'll have a little fun with it here. We'll go CD with Nick Chubb. I like that little pairing there. So as far as the first round, you're typically seeing guys like AJ Brown, Bijan, and CD Lamb. For this format, I could probably tell you the answer you're probably going to go with. But let's say it is full PPR and or 3 wide receivers leagues, just to make it a little more interesting. Of those 3 guys, which guy you betting on, which guy you checking on, and which guy you folding between AJ Brown, Bijan, and CD Lamb?
So I'm probably against consensus, but for me, it's probably going to be more. I'm probably going to be leaning, if it's full PPR, probably betting on AJ Brown, checking on Bijan, and folding on Lamb. And it's very close, to be fair. I mean, it's one of those scenarios where we don't know exactly what's going to happen with Bijan. We suspect a ton. We want to see them run. They're probably behind one of the better run offensive line, rushing offensive linemen in the game. And on top of that, Arthur Smith loves to just run the ball, and they're going to be using him out wide. There's so many different things that could happen. It's just hard to really predict that at this point. A.J. Brown is a proven commodity. I know what's going to happen in this particular offense. He does well. He did well last year. I feel like he's in for a great year this year. So for me, I rather take my bet on A.J. Brown. I have no problem holding on Bijan. I will take if he's there. But Lamb, I've never really been high on Lamb to begin with. Just never really been my cup of tea. But I've been wrong. I mean, he finished wide receiver 5 last year. So I really can't say much when it comes. Yeah, he was wide receiver 5. So I mean, 156 targets. Like it is what it is. But
I was gonna say, yeah, and they didn't add anything really there. You got Brandon Cooks there. Michael Gallup, should be healthy this year. Obviously, you got Tony Pollard, who should be a factor there in the passing game, but I definitely think he's a candidate to see 150 targets plus. The only thing you have to worry about, of course, just with that offense overall, is the fact that maybe they're not going to run as many plays. The offense under Kellen Moore typically is more high tempo. They still did run a bunch, but they weren't about dragging out the clock. I think Mike Holmgren is going to kind of run the ball out, bring it down to the play clock.
I thought it was Schottenheimer.
What's that?
I thought it was Schottenheimer. Am I wrong?
I'm pretty
Brian
sure.
Schottenheimer.
Isn't it him and isn't Mike calling the plays though? I thought
Mike's calling the plays, but I think Schottenheimer's the OC.
Is the new OC? Yeah. No, I just meant as far as play calling.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't think he's going to want to run. Be running as many plays. I think he wants to set that defense up because the defense is good. They want to set that defense up. Play keep away ball, keep their defense off the field, keep them fresh. Because I think that was a big problem. Last year was they'd be 3 and out or quick passes and just time wasn't going off the clock. So, I think he thinks that led to the fatigue and whatnot last year. He just ran into a buzzsaw with our Niners, but we won't go there. But yeah, so
Okay.
so that's good. So I like that. We did. Yeah, we just I didn't. I kind of set it up for just
set it
kinda
up for me, not you.
Yeah, I kind of was being the host, But I mean, I'll just give my comment on it, kind of like you did. But I pretty much have it in your same order.
Okay.
Earlier in the year, I had Lamb actually ahead, but like I said, as I did some more digging in and understanding that, I still think I would take AJ Brown and Bijan over Lamb if I was sitting on the clock with those 3 as the top 3 on the clock. So
Okay.
So all right, so we did kind of finish round 2. We're about in the middle of round 3. See if we can squeeze this one in here before our picks.
Sure.
So in round 2, same thing. This time in round 1, it's easy because they're all elite players. So for these later rounds, I'm going to kind of break it up between wide receivers and running backs. So as far as bet checking and folding on the red receivers that you're seeing going in the second round, how do you who you betting on, who you checking on, and who you're going to fold between Adams, the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Garrett Wilson? How do you have those guys?
Oof. It would probably be between. I think it's going to be the Sun God as being someone I'm betting on, checking on Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams as being the guy I fold out of that group. We don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo out in Vegas, being the quarterback. He's typically more of a check down guy. Adams did well with Carr last year, but I think Carr's a better deep ball thrower overall. Amon-Ra is the only guy in town. Adams
For the first couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, true, but he's still the only guy in town for the minute. Adams has Jacoby Myers in play.
Brokaw.
They got,
No, I'm just saying Brokaw went RB bully on us right here. I see what he's
that's
doing.
Fine.
I'm okay.
That's fine. But that they have weapons in place that they can run. I mean, if Josh Jacobs decides to play, of course that he'll be involved as well. They're more of a run-heavy offense to begin with. So for me, Garoppolo is more of a game manager. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. I just see, Amon-Ra getting a ton of volume. Garrett Wilson, I have no problem with him being where he is. I mean, he's just more middle of the road for me with Aaron Rodgers in town. I understand, of course, Aaron Rodgers is going to make him 30 times better than he is. But at the end of the day, we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. He ended up doing really, really good later on. So for me, I rather wait and see. So for me, yeah, I'm gonna stick to that.
Right. And look at that. I mean, I didn't even predict it. Like I already had these show notes written up, and look at it. Went Amon-Ra, Devontae, and Wilson. As far as this draft here, Brown at 2.5, Devontae Adams at 2.6, and Garrett Wilson at the 2.07. So if I had to put it in order, I think I would actually do it the exact way these guys drafted it here. I'm betting on Amon-Ra. It's just too many targets. You know, love the slot receiver. Really no question marks on what the expectation is there. We've seen it 2 years in a row now, basically, or one and a half years. So I'm betting on that all day. Devontae Adams, I just have to put there just pure elite talent. I figure if I was the quarterback, I would just throw him the ball and he'd have, over 1,200 yards easily with me at quarterback. And then Garrett Wilson, he's just, the rookie. We haven't seen it with Rodgers. We haven't seen this offense. We haven't, seen him out of Green Bay in that situation. So, he could very well be a top 4 and be a first round pick next year. Or if it doesn't work out as well, it's there, but that's kind of where I'm at. So before I make my pick here, I'll let you talk about the next ones. The running backs typically going in round 2 that I want you to give me your order, bet, check, or fold. Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, and Mr. King Derrick Henry.
Nice. So first, Ethan had a good comment in there saying betting against Adams is wild to me. Over those two guys, Adams went 1,514 and balled out in games with Stidham. I completely understand what your thought process there. I don't know, man. Jimmy has always shown that he's been good where he can, dump it off to really good players. Yes, he could do that with Adams. I don't know. I feel a little more confident with the other two than I do Adams at this point based on what's around him. I don't know. That's just, it's how I feel about that. With the running backs, otherwise, for that you just mentioned, Jonathan Taylor, Pollard, and Henry.
What's up, Carl?
Dude, this is oof.
And I'll give you a minute because I want to comment on what Ethan said here as well too. That's why I didn't have him last. I did have him second, but again, it's just because of the question marks between that. I was an Adams owner last year, so I know exactly what you're talking about. He produced for sure. I wasn't scared of him last year, but this year I'll put him behind Amon-Ra. And I wasn't a big Amon-Ra fan headed into this year.
Yeah, me neither.
Or heading into last year, but he proved me wrong. And I always say, once you show me, then you have my trust until you throw it away again. So, yeah. So
that's how I have them ranked in my rankings.
Yeah.
So honestly,
yeah. And I just want to respond to this too. Ayuk went for 1K last year.
Did.
I understand that's great, but 1,000 yards over 17 games is literally only like 70 yards a game. I mean, that's not anything crazy. That's not a real big, yard marker or yardstick. Like you want those guys, going for 1,200-1,300 yards, or at least the ability to. And then of course you want to see, 100 plus catches if you can, and around, 120, 150 or plus, more targets. So, I mean, you're right. And I agree with you. I mean, Adam's talent's there, and I just love that I can get him, that late. I mean,
and remember, he did
all of us people who do like Adams, like, don't complain because you're going to get a deal on him.
But also remember, he did a lot of that near the end of the year as well with Brock Purdy. So, I mean, yes, he did it a little bit with Garoppolo, but he definitely did it with Purdy as well. So, I mean, there's just a lot of different things when it comes to Garoppolo that I
don't disagree at all.
I think that Carr, as much as we give him crap and a lot of people don't, aren't really on him, as a real life quarterback, he's actually pretty good. But yeah, he's like, I'm just saying the baseline is easily there for Jimmy. Yeah, I can understand. Like I said, we're
still
arguing
around.
Yeah, we're arguing two different apples that still taste good. Like it's they're both great. It's just we're putting three top
guys against each other.
Against each other. I mean,
Yeah.
I have them in rankings.
No one's going wrong if you're drafting one of those guys in the second. Like, you're
Oh
not going
no,
wrong.
I have all three in my rankings at 7, 8, and 9. So I
See?
mean,
I did
they're-
good with these, man. I did
No,
good
you
with these.
did. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out JT Pollard
Yeah,
and
so there
Henry,
you-
and to be honest, to me, I love all three of these guys. So this really sucks, and it's going to be the same controversy that I'm going to have on all these because for me, I feel a little bit better with someone like JT as a whole. Pollard I think is going to do fine in that offense. Excuse me. Well, see, the other part that people don't realize is Zach Martin is currently holding out. So if Zach Martin doesn't play, I don't like Pollard at all. I think he'll have a rough day in that offense without an all-pro Hall of Fame, right guard. But Henry's in that same boat too because he doesn't really have an interior line. So for me, I think JT is the first one in that group. I think he has the best. I know I'm basing it online, but to be honest, I think that's going to help him. I think Anthony Richardson and/or Minshew or whoever is going to be the quarterback really helps him out regardless. Tony Pollard is probably going to be right behind. Well, no, Derrick Henry I'm going to put behind him and then Pollard right after that. And it's not saying that Pollard's not talented. I think Henry is just a better running back. I understand, age and decline and all that stuff. I'm going to bet on TJ at JT. Henry is going to be someone I check, and Pollard I'm going to fold.
All right, there you go. I have a little bit. Me. I got King Henry RB5 this year. I ain't scared. Give me the King all day at value, especially at this value. I'm having him everywhere I can. Give me.
And I ranked these guys the exact same 6, 7, 8.
Ooh, look at that. See, I'm on it, and I haven't even seen your rankings. Just so
I didn't
you guys
even
know.
and I didn't even look at the rankings until right now.
Yeah. See, so there you go. I'm on it. These are the questions people are. When you're on the clock, these are the decisions you're having to make. So
these are
trying
good
to
ones.
help you guys through it. I'm Henry. I have Henry at 5, and then I got JT and Pollard back to back in that order at 12 and 13. So I'll go. I'll bet on Henry. I'm definitely a betting man. I'll check on Taylor just because of the volume and no competition at all. Pretty much in that offense, like he is that offense. And then of course having Anthony Richardson could open up lanes even more for him if he gets the start. And then I got Tony Pollard right behind him at 13. So so there we go. So moving on to round 3. I know we're kind of a little behind the draft. We'll try to speed it up. But we're having good conversations here. Round 3, you're on the clock. Who you betting on between? We'll stick with running backs here. Ramondre Stevenson, some Josh Jacobs, or Breece Hall.
They all annoy me because they're all in different situations at this point.
I have a theme here. That's the point. The point
is
to make
it is a good theme because
hard.
I mean, based on right this minute, if I'm drafting people,
I know, Dylan. You guys let him fall to me in the 4th.
No, I don't want to hear it. I did
that.
I was going to draft him. I let him go. Yeah. I have other plans, and unfortunately, everybody else ruined them. Yeah. It's fine. And yes,
Sober Money, what's up? Is he like Drunk Squidward's brother? Sober
Probably.
Money and Drunk Squidward. That's cool. We play Dynasty, man. You'll hear us talking about it. For sure. We don't really do Dynasty content, so to speak, but we'll give you our Dynasty take. And if you ever have any questions about Dynasty or want to add anything about it, man, open up a discussion. Feel free. Always contribute. We want it. Throw in the chat. Yeah. All right. So back to this here. Stevenson, Jacobs, Breece. Who you betting on? Who you checking on? And who you folding out of those?
So the guy I'm folding on as a whole, like I know who I'm folding here, and that's Breece.
Breece, right? We're the same there.
I'm just gonna move him
enough
to
said.
The fold.
Yeah, enough said. Save some time.
It's really between Jacobs and Stevenson. Now, the funny thing is I'll probably, check Jacobs, but it's not because of how good he is. The guy, if he's playing, I know he's above. He's actually in my second round and almost first round group of guys in this format. So for me, Jacobs is the higher caliber player. Stevenson's, we know he's just going to play and he might have some company to help him out. I'm okay with that if it needs to be. But in this case, we don't know if Jacobs is going to play. So I'm going to check on Jacobs, play, or in this case, bet Stevenson. But at the same time, if I know for 100% fact that Jacobs is going to be playing week 1, Jacobs is is always going to be not my number one. I think he is probably one of the most talented backs. I would have it ranked as Chubb and Jacobs to be as 1 and 2.
Yeah, we know you hate. We know you hate CMC. It's all good.
No, I'm only
just
putting
messing
him
with
at
you.
3. You know,
I know. I'm just messing with you. Just messing with you. All right, you're on the clock, just so you know, and I'll set this
I
next
know.
question up. So just quickly to add on that, I'm still betting on Jacobs. I don't think he holds out. Then I'll take Stevenson, and then I'm basically folding Brees all the way. Just see
I
we're
can't.
going in this range. I'm just not taking him or Javonte Williams. I'll just, hey, if fool me once, that's fine. I'll draft you next year all day.
Yeah,
And I'll buy you all day in Dynasty. Speaking of sober money, speaking of Dynasty,
Dynasty, I'd buy.
I'm buying Jay Will and Brees if I can. It might be too late because they're talking about they'll be ready for week 1. But either way, I'm not buying it. So, like we said, we're folding. We're not betting on that. I'm not betting.
No, for redraft,
right.
I'm definitely not betting on him.
Definitely. All right. So we'll move it on here to round 3 wide receivers. Who you gonna bet? Who you gonna check on? And who you folding out of Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, and Deebo Samuel?
So I feel this one's another one that's tough. I know that I'm folding.
Classic. That's the theme.
It is. I'm going to be folding Deebo at the moment. I understand the offense. I understand who's around him. I understand everything. I get it. I like
Dude's
Cooper
a
better.
baller. He's just a baller. Baller's
He really is.
Classic.
I like Cooper better this year.
Okay.
I think Deshaun Watson will be taking a step up. I think that in this case, I think he's going to have a great year. Keenan Allen, I'm going to put as my check. I think in that particular Kellen Moore offense, Herbert, the whole deal, I think that's actually going to play out well for Keenan. He's healthy currently. There's no real issues. I don't see of course, he's the only one that has the most injury prone in this group. So, I mean, you could flop Deebo and Allen, but in this case, I feel a lot more comfortable with Cooper. So for me, Cooper, Allen, Deebo is kind of where I have to go in that particular aspect.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. I may swap and put Deebo there instead of Allen, but with the potential with Herbert and how we were coming into him next year, I think he could throw for 5,000 yards this year with being healthy. If Keenan Allen, of course, barring health, and we're just assuming health, of course, for all this, I think if he does play a full season, he's still really good too, man.
Yeah, I have Allen.
He really hasn't missed that many games over the last 3 or 4 years.
No, it was just last year. He had a rough year.
So, so that's where I'm at. Give me Cooper, give me Allen, and then Deebo. I'll have to fold on as well, sadly. But Deebo, you're a baller, bro. Like if you're, I'm probably taking you though. Honestly, it'll be hard not to. So,
well, for me, it's ADP. I rather take Ayuk over him because of what I have to pay for it. That's the only difference for him. And I'd rather be paying a 5th round value for Ayuk than a 3rd. So
exactly. And shout out to Ethan, man. 1,000 yards. He could hit that 1,100 this year.
Oh, for sure.
If Purdy's in there. So, so we'll move on here, try to catch up to the draft a bit. Let's get into round 4. Some of the running backs you might facing on the clock in round 4, who you betting on, who you checking on, and who you're going to fold between Najee, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Travis Etienne. Najee Harris, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Travis Etienne.
So I'm a little higher on Najee this year. So for me, I'm betting on Najee. I'm probably checking on Etienne and folding on Gibbs. And it honestly, it's more just the uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen. Gibbs is behind one of the best lines in football. I could easily make an argument for either or for Etienne or Gibbs. I feel a little more comfortable with Najee in his particular scenario this year. So I'm pretty good on him right now. Etienne looked good last year. He got plenty of touch. I understand they brought in Tank Bigsby to help kind of relieve the pressure a little bit. Yeah, no, he's not wrong. Evans is the most disrespected wide receiver in the game. It truly is. He really
it's not.
is.
I don't think it's so much Evans hated as it is Baker hate.
It's Baker hate for that particular, and then
For that type
everyone
of
likes
receiver.
Godwin.
Yeah, exactly. Because they don't think he could throw it down the field.
No, but
So
I don't agree.
anyway, yeah. Get
So
your
in this,
value, Jeezy. Get your value. Shout
oh
out to
yeah,
Jeezy and oh man, I forgot the name of it. Jeezy, put the info to your tournament, man, in the
yeah,
chat
put it
so we
up.
can give you the shout out, brother. And I saw that I got my draft. We did the random orders today, and I know it's for the vets. I just don't know the exact name of it right off the top of my head. But I got the number 1 pick, man, in Jeezy's in
Nice.
Jeezy's league, man. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So welcome to the team, Justin Jefferson. I don't care
Yeah.
what the scoring settings
And I
are.
agree. I agree with Ethan. You know, I understand the outcomes, but I definitely see a higher range. I definitely see a better floor, I guess, for Evans comparatively to what people think. I
It's
don't
just
know.
will he hit those highs? Does he have that upside potential? I think he's still
Could
good
he get 1,000 yards like you said? Yes. Like you said, it's 78 yards a game. But at the end of the day, could he consistently do that? I don't know. It's going to be tough. He might end the year at like 850 and like 5 touchdowns or something like that with like
Oh, that'd be so sad.
with like 100 targets or something. You know, and I'm lowballing it, to be honest.
No, I know. All right. And yeah, actually, it's not even. It's 58.82 yards a game.
Oh, well, even
1,000-yard receiver.
yeah.
So yeah, only 58 yards a game.
And then Dylan's talking about Gibbs never ran between the tackles in college and didn't get any good goal line work, which is exactly what Montgomery's there for. Hammer Mont in to the moon.
And
we're going to talk
picked up
about him.
D-Mont, baby, and who reached for him here in this draft? Let's go.
I like D-Mont a lot.
Cassidy's trying to get. I know what he's trying to do, man. He's trying to, suck up for when we do the grade episode.
That's fine.
He's like, Rasta, you drafted
Got to get
Allen,
him though.
You drafted D-Mont. I know he was kind of upset. I gave him a B-, but a B- was a good job. He did a good job on the last one. So apologize for those guys, man, who drafted last week with my technical issues, difficulties I had going on. We couldn't do the grade show, but I did give everybody a nice little write-up in their grade in that chat.
Nice.
So I hope they all appreciated that. It was a lot of fun writing it up, but definitely would have loved to just come on and talk about it. I think it took me like an hour and a half total, almost 3 hours just to talk about it. Or to type it out, it would have been easier just to come on and say it. So definitely was a lot more work to write it all out, but it was a lot of fun, man. I love doing that stuff, breaking down drafts and just, doing it all out. So he said, yeah, so he knows what he's doing. And he said, yeah, that B- had him scratching his head. It's okay, man. I'll tell you right now, everyone who drafts thinks they drafted the best team. So we've been doing this for 3 years. Doing grades is one of the most controversial things that we do on here. People get so upset about it, and it's like, bro, it's just a mock. Like, it's nothing personal. I'm just telling you from my one perspective. This is what I'm thinking.
And then I'll throw my perspective in.
Yeah, and it's completely different. Yeah, exactly. So it's all for fun, man. That's what we're here for. So just come out, and like I said, it's a game. When we do this mock draft, just know who your judges are. Know what they're looking for. Play the game. Get your chance to get in that best ball finale and take some of my money, man. Take that $50 cash.
Don't try to ever make a team that we make. It's just not gonna work.
Remember, I'm only one of 4.
Things change every day.
Please me, but I'm totally different when it comes to the other 3 guys that'll be grading these. So
Ethan has a great question. He's like, do you ever receive grades on your own teams? And to be fair, no. And we try to not be in these particular mocks at all because we don't want to get involved, especially for Tournament of Champions.
We're not in the Tournament of Champions.
No.
We just commentate on the draft.
But for this particular scenario, if we do a show and have someone grade ours, no. And we do it to ourselves sometimes where, Frank might grade. I'm not on the Monday show, so Frank can grade mine all he wants, and I want him to.
Right.
And you can grade it and all that. So that's usually what ends up happening. We try to get you guys in here more than us. So it's one of those things where we rather, have that particular scenario. So,
hey, I'll take you up on that, Ethan.
Yeah, I saw that. I'll write a scratch review of the 2 goon squads you're putting together.
In the 11 spot.
Hey, man, we appreciate that.
I'll put it on the website if you write it up, man.
Oh, there you go.
I promise I will do it. Let's see. All right, who we got here? I think I have to take the Kamara value here. Let me just check tight end. We're still
So
good
Calvin
there.
goes,
Traylon
yeah, great job on
Burks.
the write-ups and not just saying that because I got an A. That kind of works work dedication. Oh, of
Takes
course.
for real dedication.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
man. We do it, man. We like to have fun.
So
It's not even like hard work, man. Like I literally would
no, it's
prefer to
fun.
do that
Yeah.
for a living. So that's why we're doing this, man. That's why you got to subscribe. If
We
you're
just
watching
like
right now,
talking more than typing.
if you're watching it on Twitter, if you're watching it anywhere else besides YouTube, or if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us.
Yes, sir.
So much of our viewership comes from non-subscribed viewers. So just take 1 second, hit that subscribe button, and help us out. We
Yes.
appreciate it, man. We're
so
trying to hit that
close.
1,000. We're
So
close, man.
close.
So yeah. All right. So I think we were playing a game here.
We were.
We just talked about Najee. We're only in round 4, but we're in what, like round 7 or 8 here in the actual drafts, just starting
Yeah.
starting round 8. So I know I'm on the clock, so let me give you these quick. So back to round 4, you're on the clock. Who you betting
Mhm.
on, who you checking on, and who you gonna fold out of these wide receivers? Terry McLaurin, Christian Kirk, and DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Mr. You remember DJ's first name? Remember when we did that episode?
Oh God.
Oh, all right. Go ahead. You'll
Just
think
say
about
it.
it. No, it's
Just say
okay.
it.
Go ahead. I'll say it after you give your spiel. Your spiel.
Wilson in the house. What's up?
What up, Wilson?
What up, Wilson?
Shout out to the Mike Garofalo shout out for Get Right, man.
Garofalo.
Or Garofalo.
Mike Garofalo.
What did I say? Garofalo?
This is the first time
That's the first
I get
time.
the last name right.
It's because I was on the clock and I was freaking out and I was just it was in my head.
Mike Garofalo.
There it is. We'll go Alvin Kamara.
So thank you, Wilson. We appreciated that. It was great to have that this morning. So
sure.
Thank you so much. So for me, Terry McLaurin, Christian Kirk, DJ Moore. Whew, this is tough. DJ Moore's talent is something that is, I think people undervalue.
I'm not yelling at you, GC. I don't know if you put that up already, but that was funny.
No. So DJ Moore is someone that is he's uber talented. He's somebody that I think people write off all the time. He is somebody that honestly, I think the Bears did a great job in acquiring him and, having a weapon for Justin Fields. That being said, I don't really this take isn't a DJ Moore take. It's a Justin Fields take. I don't like Justin Fields. He says he's going to be throwing for, 5,000 yards? No.
4,000. Yeah.
4,000. Oh, you said 4,000?
Yeah, he's going to be the first Bears quarterback to throw
for 4,000. And they had Jay Cutler. So for me, DJ Moore, unfortunately, has to take the fold here in this particular case. I just don't trust Justin Fields to get him to be that guy. He threw for 1870 last year. He had one of the lowest passer ratings that I've ever seen. It was 32nd among all, or he was 31st out of 32 quarterbacks last year. So I just don't trust it. So I'm gonna take him and fold him right away.
All right.
I think I'm gonna check Christian Kirk just because of his particular place in the offense. I mean, they just got Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley will be involved. It's not like he will not. They didn't really get rid of anybody, so the targets are going to have to be a
Marvin
little bit more.
Jones.
Yeah, Marvin Jones. Yeah, but
Zay Jones, they combined for like 160 plus targets.
Yeah, but combined means that he's coming into 80 targets at least. So I'll make it even. 80 targets for Calvin Ridley. Okay, cool. But still my point. I feel a little bit more comfortable with McLaurin in his situation. I think Eric Bellamy will find a way to get, Sam Howell to work with Terry McLaurin, Juwan Dotson. I think there's a lot going on in that particular area. So for me, I feel a little bit stronger about McLaurin this season. I have him a lot higher right now. So for me, it's Terry, then Kirk, then DJ.
All right. I'm betting on Kirk. I still think,
okay.
I think as the slot receiver, I don't think his targets are affected. I think should have the same production that he had last year, with some more potential upside, with Ridley being there, taking away a little more coverage and attention. Because if not, Ridley's just going to ball out and they're going to have to figure it out real quick. So I really like this Jacksonville offense. Heading into this year, I'm pretty much high on all their players: ETN, Ridley, Christian Kirk, Trevor
Oh, yeah.
Lawrence. I think they're all making a step forward, and they're going to
Agreed.
be one of those offenses that you just want a piece of this year, in my humble opinion. And I'm fading as far as if I had to pick between these three specifically, like in a vacuum. I'm going Kirk, McLaurin, and DJ Moore. In that situation, but in this case, I'm pretty much fading McLaurin because I'd rather have Dotson later, and that's the only reason.
No, agreed. No, I can agree
love,
with that.
but yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's Terry, McLaurin for sure, and then DJ Moore is who I'd fooled there after Kirk. So that's where I'm at there. So
This is where I like. This is this part of your game. I like this round.
Okay.
This fifth round.
Here we go, round 5. This is a fun round right here, so this will be a good one. All right, so you're up in round 5. You're on the clock, and you're looking at Kenneth Walker. You're looking at Alexander Madison, and you're looking at J.K. Dobbins. Which guy are you pulling the trigger on there?
So, I mean, we just had a bunch of news today for J.K. Dobbins. So J.K. Dobbins is starting off on the pup
wait,
list.
hold on. We're not playing any trigger or gun. We're playing who are you going to check?
Oh, yeah. No, I get it, but we're going to still talk about it for a minute because it's part of the.
I just had to set it up. I had to set it up better. I'm trying to practice my host thing here.
No, you're fine. So J.K. Dobbins is currently being put on the pup list. It's been said that he's having issue with his contract currently. It could be injury as well. There's a lot going on in this particular realm. They also signed Melvin Gordon to a 1-year deal. So there's something going on, but I think, ultimately I think Gordon is more of a, I would call it like a chess piece, like a pawn just to kind of be there. And, I don't think he affects a lot, but I think that I think his signing is a little bit more of a tall tale sign of there being an issue than a couple other things that happened today. So for now, I'm folding Dobbins. And honestly, I was folding him prior to all this news to begin with. Ken Walker, I'd probably be betting. See, I'm going to go with Madsen and then Walker. So I'm going to bet on Madison and check on Walker.
All right.
Just
less scared of that little Zach Charbonnet, little Sharp signing.
I wouldn't say scared. It's one of those he's going to eat into the volume. They definitely run the ball. I think they're going to pass. Actually, I think they're going to pass it a little more than people think this year. So
JSN, they got the best wide receiving room they've had in a long time.
So I honestly think that they're going to be passing the ball a little bit more. But I don't know. And that Vikings offense likes to pass as well. So, I honestly think that Madsen is just in a spot with volume. So I just feel a little bit better about it.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. I'll let you think about this next one. For me, just quickly, I go Walker, Madison, Dobbins. If the stuff with Dobbins comes through, he gets off the pup and actually comes up and shows up, I might actually put him ahead and bet on him. But just right now, given the current state as of the 21st of July, I'll take some Ken Walker, then Madison, just because we don't know exactly. And I think that offense is going to be pass heavy. He's not walking into 20 touches a game. And then J.K. Dobbins, just again, because everything you said, so we won't have to repeat it all again.
Yep.
Before we get into the next one here, I'll set it up for everybody though. The wide receivers we're looking at here in round 5, who you betting on, who you going to check, and who you folding between Brandon Ayuk, Deontay Johnson. It's probably an easy one there, I know.
Yeah, this one's
and the Hollywood Browns. So
this one I saw on your list and I went, oh my God, thank God.
Finally an easy one for you.
Finally an easy one. So for me, it's Deontay Johnson as my bet. I'm going to check with Brandon Ayuk, and then I'm folding on Hollywood Brown. And honestly, it's the uncertainty in Arizona. There's so much going on there. We have no idea what's going to happen with Kyle Murray. We don't know if he's starting and if he plays at all this year. They keep saying he is. They keep saying that he's going to be ready week 1. Yeah, I don't think so. And even if he does play, I don't know how good he'll actually be. They could be starting with Clayton Tune, who I don't think is horrible, but I can't trust it yet. So he's somebody that I don't trust. I understand the volumes there. I understand he has really no competition for targets other than Trey McBride. So I'm not like down on him, but I really prefer to just, someone else can deal with it. I'd rather deal with Deontay and Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah. So for me, I'm betting on Ayuk.
Okay.
I just think he's the guy. He's almost the most true wide receiver on that team, given the hybrid between McCaffrey and Debo. But I think there's going to be enough to go around there for him to still produce in this round 5, to get your money's worth in this round 5. Deontay, I'm not all the way sold on Pickens yet, but, the potential's there. The targets are there. Obviously, he's going to have that touchdown regression just like Miles Sanders did. People running away from Miles Sanders last year, which we'll get into here in the next round. A little teaser there. But I'm not afraid of him, so I'll check on him just because I'm not quite sure. And as pretty much everybody knows in the write-ups that I did last week, I'm pretty much fading all Arizona players.
I'm fading most people. Yeah, the only one that I'm even maybe touching
Connor
is Connor and or Trey McBride. Like those are the only two I might grab in one way or another. But Hollywood is I like Hollywood as a player. I think he's very talented.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, it's going to be hard when you have two people.
He got me throwing him. It's not going to be a pretty sight.
No, and he's going to have double coverage and too high. No, it's just not. It's not worth it.
Yeah, not going to work out. So that's good there. Before we get to this and sober money, I see your question there. We're going to get to it. But before we do, as I mentioned earlier, it's the ACG Veterans Invitational. So it's supporting canines for the Warriors organization.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's like SFB 12, Scott Fishbowl 12 style scoring settings. It's lots of fun. It's a great cause, a nice competitive field, industry specialists, just like Scott Fishbowl, just a little bit smaller, different cause. So Jeezy's been putting this on for a few years now. And winner gets, so of course you're buying, it's only like a $10-15 buy-in. It's really reasonable. I think it's only like $10 actually, $10-15.
Wow.
To get in. That's your donation. You get in the team, or you get in your division, and you still have an opportunity to win stuff. So he gets a bunch of donations for signed NFL memorabilia, like jerseys and balls and probably mini helmets and stuff like that. So again, Jeezy, make sure you drop that link, man. Drop the link in the chat.
Yeah.
I got to make sure I get it in the description. Only $10. So I got to get it in the description, and I'm sure they can donate 15 too if they want to, right? It's all going for a good cause, man. So help the veterans out there. Shout out to all the vets out there, man.
Yes.
We couldn't do what we do here if it wasn't for you guys doing what you did, what you sacrificed and your family sacrificed, and your brothers who sacrificed out there as well too, man. So much respect and love out there. And speaking of which, one of our own, so to speak, good friend of the show, Mr. Martin. With Dynasty Pylon, he's out on a mission right now. So of course,
I didn't know that.
It was all secret, top secret, secretive stuff.
Nice.
He didn't know where he was going or anything like that. I'm sure he knew, but he couldn't say anything.
Oh, of course
to us, right? So we're just hoping he comes back.
I didn't even know he left.
Safe. Yeah, I was talking to him right before he left. So
okay.
He's all good. You know him. He's a tough cat, man. That's why he does it. And he's going to get the job done, and he'll be back. So we're all thinking about him in regards to that.
And again, just shout out to
all the vets for him out there, man.
Yeah.
So let's get to Sober's question here before I get on the clock.
I was going to.
There we go. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, to wrap that up.
Yeah. So Ethan says, I think Hollywood is being overlooked in PPR formats. I understand that.
A little too high on ADP for me, though, man. Still
a little.
And I can't do round 5 for him.
For this, no. I mean, where did he go here? He went in our draft. He went. Where is he? 7th round. I'm okay with that. Like that's a good value for him. I would be okay with Brown in the 7th.
Yeah.
5th round.
Well, and again, this is half PPR 2 wide receiver, though.
Oh,
those questions were kind of based on.
No, fair point.
That was kind of based on full PPR 3 wide receiver.
Still,
yeah.
I mean, I don't feel comfortable with it. I understand where the volume can come. I don't know. I think he's in for a rough.
Yeah. Had to grab my guy here, man. He's like my top four owned guy, Rashee Rice. I know the odds are stacked against me, man, but just something gets me a little crazy trying to get the number 1 receiver 6'3", or I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". I think Justin Ross is, I think, 6'3", or vice versa. But they're the only people over 6 feet besides Kelsey in this offense.
I
So
like him a lot.
I'm taking my shot on either him or Justin Ross super late in more best ball type drafts. But I don't think Ross will get drafted, but definitely keep your eye on him throughout the year. And as we get through these preseason games, I'm definitely excited to see if he can get on the field. I doubt we'll see him with Mahomes, but it would sure be nice to see it.
Yeah.
So again, if we're getting value on him, anybody for the right value, there's nobody I'm just not drafting
Agreed.
besides people that are hurt like Brees and Williams. But most of the time, it's just I'm not where they're going in ADP. I have no chance of getting them because my ADP for them is a lot lower, or I'm much higher on other people. So
agreed.
Let's get to Sober Money's question here.
Sure.
He says, I have a weird trade offer. Those are the ones we like the best.
We love the real weird
Let's
ones.
go. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. All right. So we got Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Ryan Tannehill, and a 2024 second for JSN and CJ Stroud. It's super flex PPR, half point for tight end. So tight end premium.
Okay.
And he'd be getting the Stroud side. So what do you guys think, man? Man, that is kind of an interesting one.
Goddard, Tannehill, and a second for JSN and Stroud. He gets Stroud. So he's giving away Smith, Goddard, Tannehill, and a second. That's a boatload.
It is.
That's a lot for those two. Like I'm not saying that it's not a good play, and I understand it's super
and
flex,
it's tight end premium. So he's giving away Goddard and Smith.
You're giving away a first round guy that's at least worth the first round pick. You're giving away
drafting running backs in this format.
Oof.
Somebody tell me to stop.
Yeah, I know. Miller was my. It was between.
Someone
Bigsby
tell me
and
to
Mil-
stop.
and Miller.
I had to handcuff Kamara. I go back and forth between do you handcuff your own
makes
guy
sense.
or not, but yeah.
But in this case, I mean, this is a weird trade offer. I mean, I don't know if I would accept this offer.
Gosh,
I think I might.
Are you
pass.
competing? Yeah, are you competing?
Yeah, that's going to be my next question: is are you competing or not? If you are competing, do not make this trade.
Yeah, if you're just in a rebuild,
if you're looking to rebuild, I would.
And
I would
need
take
that,
it.
and you need that younger quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think
my bad. Go ahead. We were fighting over it. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I probably wouldn't take this deal, even though I understand what you're getting. Unless you're rebuilding, I'm not taking that.
To me, it's the Devon. I don't mind doing Goddard and Tannehill. I mean, I'd like to keep Goddard because of tight end premium. So let's say, maybe I would take Goddard out.
Yeah.
And do Devonta Smith and Tannehill in the 24 second for JSN and Stroud.
I would probably
might consider that because you're getting like potentially a younger Devonta Smith and you're getting a younger Tannehill. Okay. And you're giving up a 24 second to do that.
That's fair.
And giving up the certainty behind Devonta Smith.
Yeah, if you're taking Goddard out, I feel
you know what I mean? Like I think if you pull Goddard out, I think it makes it a little better.
I agree with that.
I would not do it as it stands.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
Regardless, regardless you're competing or not. So,
but
there we go.
Good question.
Good stuff. Keep them coming, man. Keep them coming.
And then we got Ethan going. He's taking the Devontae side, paying for a premium dynasty player for two unproven players. I don't think is what I do. Oh, I agree with that too.
Yeah,
I think Stroud is going to do very well. I think JSN in time will do well as well. But
sometimes you got to just take a chance, man. Tannehill's only good for how long, and then you got nothing anyway.
No,
so I like trading off Tannehill and to get Stroud, and you're just taking that chance that he's there. Because if he fades out, he's going to fade out right when Tannehill faded out anyway. Yeah. So you're not really losing much there.
So he says that he owns Kyler, Russell, Tannehill, Breece Hall, Waddle, T. Higgins, St. Brown, Devontae, and Chig. So
take Goddard out, and I would do that for sure.
I'd be a lot more comfortable with that since you have Chig, and with everything that happened with Hopkins, I feel a lot more comfortable taking a guy keeping a guy like Goddard.
Honestly, I'd love to switch out Kyler. I'm just not a big.
I would switch out Kyler. Yeah,
I was gonna say we're probably thinking the same thing there.
I would switch out Kyler.
I mean, not really because I'd rather get rid of Tannehill than Kyler. So I leave.
Well, long term, yes, but he's the guy that he's trading with is probably not in that particular boat. So.
Right. So so take Goddard out, and I think it's more doable. I understand what you're trying to do, but yeah.
And then he
Let's get
says,
some
I'm
guys.
guessing Kyler and Brees Hall won't be full go until 2024, and I'd get a early 2024 first. I thought you were getting a second.
No, not in the trade. He's saying because basically he'd be
Oh.
tanking this year because he'd be gearing up for next year.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically he'd get a whole year to see how JSN and Stroud do to have a
Yeah,
better
take
idea
out
of what he's
Goddard, like
doing.
counter
Yeah.
with Goddard
Just
out.
remove Goddard, and I would say like you might be giving up more, of course, but you're betting on the potential longevity of your team. I mean, of course, you could just stick and build around Devonta Smith and just search out a different trade. But yeah, I'd take Goddard out, and I don't think it's pretty close to me.
And like I said, if you remove, like, I would counter with that. Just remove Goddard and see if the guy takes him. He's probably just trying to. He's trying to probably upbid, which
as he should.
People hate, and I get it, but people should. Like Rasta said,
I don't hate it at all.
I mean,
I respect it when people do that to me. I respect the hell out of it
because
they should be. And if you're stupid enough to accept it, then that's on you. Like you just got to counter and be like, "No, I'm good here."
When I feel that
get back and forth.
You want it. Well, I'm currently
that's why they call me the dentist.
Well, yeah, but I'm in a situation like that currently in my Dynasty salary cap league. With I keep trying to get the guy to understand what's going on. He's just not. He's not all for it, and it would make so much sense. The trade makes so much sense for both of us that it doesn't make sense that he doesn't want it. Like I'm overpaying on purpose, and I'm still
I do that too.
But
to get something moving sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes
and I know I have to overpay because I have no other choice in this matter. And I do what I can with it, but nope. He just doesn't want to, and that's his choice. And
we're way off the rails now. We're so the draft's gonna be over and we're barely in the middle of in our game.
Well, then drop a couple.
Oh, is it on me? Yeah, so no, we'll go. Yeah. Once the later rounds go anyway, these ones aren't that tough a decision.
Yeah, we're only going around 10, so we'll be all right.
We'll be good. All right. So I'll make my pick here. Let's see. Pretty much everything's kind of gross on the board right here.
Yeah.
But somebody I do like that I'll take a chance on this year. Give me some stuff between Van Jefferson and KJ Osborne.
Yeah.
But I'll grab some Van Jefferson. Yeah. I'll take Van Jefferson.
I have both of them in my Scotty Fish.
There we go.
Oh,
see,
man.
We're there. All right. So we'll get to it here. So we did the round 5. So round 6, who you going to bet on, who you going to check on, and who you folding out of these running backs? Cam Akers, Miles Sanders, and Dameon Pierce.
So all three are actually guys that I'm looking to grab in that particular round. Like, I think this year that dead zone running back conversation is kind of, I wouldn't say gone, but it's one of those where I don't think it's really the same as it was, to be fair. I think Akers is in a good scenario. I think Sanders is in a good scenario. I think Pierce is going to be in a good scenario. Honestly, for me, I feel a little bit more comfortable with Pierce out of this whole group. I do like Sanders. I think he's incredibly talented. I think Akers is the fold for me, even though I think I like his particular scenario just because he has no one really competing with him behind him. There's really nobody there. So for me, I feel a little bit more comfortable fading him. I'll go Pierce because I think that particular offense is going to be running the ball. They have a good offensive line that they're going to just pound the rock as much as possible. D'Amico Ryan's defensive-minded coach keeps it, defense first, and their defense is underratedly good. Like, people don't understand how good this defense is going to be. And their line last season was incredibly underrated and one of the higher ranked D lines. I think they had one of the higher pressure rates in the league. So for me,
the rushing difference was atrocious, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The rushing defense sucked, but they could rush the passer. Like,
they rush the passer and they could defend.
Yeah,
they could defend the receivers.
And they picked up
linebackers
Didn't they pick up a couple of D tackles that really covered that? They definitely picked up a few guys in free agency. I forgot off the top of my head, but I remember them. Yeah. I remember seeing it and going, "Holy shit!" So they're definitely due to have.
I think they got someone from Tennessee. I think they got what's his name from Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken.
Not Jeffrey Simmons.
No.
Who are you talking about?
I can't remember. Maybe
not Robinson. He went to the Giants.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else then.
I thought it was DJ Reader, and I could be wrong. I remember seeing a defensive tackle that went, and I went, "Holy shit, that's a great pick for them." So we'll see. I'll look it up in a minute. I know it's somebody. But either way, I like Pierce a lot this year. I think Sanders is in a good spot as well. But I like Pierce just a smidge more. So I'm going to go Pierce, Sanders, and then Akers.
Sanders, Pierce, Akers?
No, Pierce, Sanders, Akers.
Oh, Pierce, Sanders, Akers. Okay. I'm Sanders, Akers, Pierce.
Yeah. And I like Sanders.
And again, the only reason why is I just would rather have Devin Singletary. Just again,
I
it's
love
like
Singletary.
That. Terry,
like Singletary's my guy,
McLaurin.
man.
Yeah, it's the Terry McLaurin, Dotson situation.
Yeah,
so I just would rather have a same piece of that backfield just at a lower price. For how my builds are, because I'm usually would like the profile of someone like
I
Sanders
can understand that. I'm in that
Akers
same boat.
ahead. Yeah. All right. So that's my take on that. So again, in round 6, who you looking at is with these wide receivers on the board. You got Treylon Burks, Mike Evans, and Michael Pittman Jr.
Oh, side note, they just got Malik Collins from the Cowboys recently, like a couple days ago. That's why. And they picked up Shaq Mason. They picked up Shaq Mason too for their offensive line. That's huge.
That's good.
He's a real good right guard. So I like him a lot. Anyway, so back to what we were talking about. Burks, Evans, and Pittman. I'm gonna go. This is a tougher one. So I'm gonna go Evans. I like Evans out of all this group. I think Evans is the top guy out of this whole consistency. Pittman and Burks they irked me a little bit. Pittman, as much as I think that he could be doing well I think I'm going to put Pittman in the check category, and I'm fading Burks. I just honestly I just haven't been a fan of him in general. I think he's a talented receiver. I don't like.
And I think we expect his ADP to continue to drop as with the signing of Hopkins, of course. So it'll probably settle in maybe closer to round 7, round 8.
Yeah.
I
like him better at
8 or 9.
Yeah,
like that 8 or 9 when there's kind of like a wide receiver dead zone. I wouldn't mind, maybe taking him there with the addition of Hopkins, so he's not facing the top. He
might do
coverage,
well.
So might be able to open him up and let him flourish to see an alpha wide receiver.
Ours, so
and he has some touchdown upside. So I do like him in half and standard. Versus more than non-PPR.
But out of those 3, no.
Garbage. Evan. Yeah, for me. So I'm Evans, Pittman, Burks there as well.
Okay.
So thanks everybody for whoever finished the draft. It was definitely good. Had a lot of fun. We're gonna finish up here with these round 9, 8, 9, and 10 bet, check, and fold little game we're doing here. Covering a lot of players here for you guys. And if you have any questions or anything to add to what we're saying, you agree, disagree, let us know in the chat. And if you're watching later, not live, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed already, got to do it. We got our mock draft tournament of champions coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. Go check it out. All right. So round 8, or where were we? Round 7. You're on the clock. You have Swift, Rachaad White, and David Montgomery on the clock. Who are you betting on? Who you checking, and who you're gonna fold?
See, I like this one. So for me, I really like Demont this year. I want to put him as my bet, but I want to right now. White is in a scenario where he could get a crazy amount of volume. So I'm gonna move White up a little bit. I'm gonna put Demont as my particular check, and then Swift I'm gonna fold. I like Swift in the offense that he's in. I think their line is one of the best in the league. So he's definitely going to be used, but he's going to be rotated in and out. And I think it's going to be more of like a 40-40-40, 40-40-20 split type deal. So I don't think we'll see how it works. I think that White and Demont can do a little bit more with what they have. Swift is kind of, his injuries and all that stuff kind of, hurts him a little bit. So
definitely. All right. So pretty much the same. Demont, Rachaad White, and DeAndre Swift would be my order there. As far as the wide receivers that you're looking at in round 7 that you might be choosing from when you're on the clock, who you betting on, who you're going to check, and who you folding between Kadarius Toney, George Pickens, and Gabriel Davis.
Yeah. So everyone can hate me for this, and that's completely fine.
Oh,
I'm
we'll do it.
folding Tony, and
Okay.
I don't. People,
Okay.
people
Tell us how you
saw
really feel, Classic.
people
Let it
saw
out.
what
Let it
the
out.
well, that's fine. So people saw, basically the end of the season with him at Kansas City. People forget that prior to those games, he was hurt with a hamstring injury. I don't know if he was faking it or not and wanting to get traded or whatever. It didn't matter. He was at a point where, yes, he put up a really great game in the Super Bowl. He had another great game that was spread out from that. I forgot what game it was off the top of my head, but that was it. Like, he has only had 3 games of production. Yes, they've been pretty good, but at the end of the day, he has to sustain that for a whole season. I just don't see it. I don't see a place where that's going to work unless he's done something dramatically different in his lifestyle and the way that he, takes care of himself. I just don't see it. I honestly don't. Pickens, I like a little bit more here, just because I think he's an incredibly talented receiver. We saw what he did last year. I think that he could be in a place to do well. Davis, I'm going to be so for this, it's going to be betting on Pickens. I'm going to be checking on Davis. I think Davis is going to do okay. Like, I'm not as high as I was last year on him. I had to fade him a little bit. Of course, we saw what happened. They're going to be running a lot of 2, wide receiver sets this year. I think he might play a little. I think he's going to be in a little bit more than people think. Just because if you notice last year, Diggs didn't play as much. He was actually. Yeah, he only came in a lot on third downs and on big plays that they needed him, even though he got a lot of touches. But at this point, I like Pickens, then Davis, then Tony for here.
All right. I'm a little different in this range.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna bet on Gabe Davis. I think going here in the 7th versus like the 3rd or the 4th, where he was going last year.
Yeah.
I think this is about the right time. I'm still just gonna take the guy attached to Josh Allen, the best quarterback here in the group. I guess you got Mahomes with Tony, but like you said, there's too many question marks with the player on that specific side. We've seen Gabe Davis actually do it and have those blow up games. I do like him a little more in best ball because you don't have to worry about which games to start him, especially right out of the gate. You're not feeling too confident with him as maybe your wide receiver 2. But if he's a wide receiver 3 or a flex player, I think that's a good spot for him. Especially in either half or standard leagues, not full PPR, just because he can have, one catch for 98-yard touchdown or whatever it was that he had last year. So, those boom plays are there. He plays in that offense. They're going to throw it. So there's just going to be opportunities to score points. And so I'll take that when I'm getting here in this round, here late. Somebody who could just win me a week when I need to spot start him or, buy a week or something like that. That's the kind of upside, I feel confident looking for. I'll check Pickens here and I'll fold Tony. So no need to reiterate what you said there. So
No,
we'll move on. So round 8, guys, you might be looking at on the clock. As far as running backs go, Antonio Gibson, James Conner, Isaiah Pacheco. Who you going to bet on? Who you checking and who you folding?
this one's actually pretty interesting to me. I mean, recently Pacheco just had news that he was going to be,
Candidate.
a candidate for the pup. We'll see what happens. He has
He's been cleared already. He's already
right. He just got cleared already. All right,
he's
so
not going on pup. Yeah, I think I have that in the note there.
He's still recovering from something. I think it was a shoulder or something like that.
Torn labor.
So, okay. So, I mean, I don't hate him. I like how he runs. I mean, that might be a problem later in the season because he's such a violent runner. I do like him a lot in that offense. I thought he played well. There is a lot of cooks in that kitchen, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens in this particular Kansas City offense with all the running backs that they got there. Gibson, I really like this year. I haven't really liked him in the past.
Welcome to the other side, Classic. Welcome to the other side.
It hurts.
You'll be disappointed just like the rest of us, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll right
so I'm gonna fade Connor I'm gonna fold him. Just because I don't trust the offense. I understand the volume parts and all that stuff. I can't. I don't trust.
Is James Conner this year's Mike Davis? from a
Ooh,
few years ago.
That's a good comparison. I
Could
like
be.
that.
Where it's like,
I-
oh, he's getting the volume, you know.
Hey,
Doesn't
I
mean it's good.
compared Gabe Davis to Christian Watson, and people gave me shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
come on
we'll
now.
take it. We'll take it.
You're drafting Christian Watson in the 4th round, and you think he's going to do what what everyone thought Gabe Davis was going to do. I'm sorry, like,
He's gonna be Gabe Davis.
come on now.
There
Like,
we go.
they gotta pull it back a little bit for Christian
All
Watson.
right.
But it is
So
what
you're
it is.
betting on Gibson. Or are you betting on Pacheco?
No,
Which
I
one?
think I'm going to bet on Gibson. I'm going to check Pacheco, and I'm going to
Fold
fold
Connor.
Connor. Yeah.
All right. I think I'm right there with you. No changes on that, so we'll agree on that one. All right. So
Yeah, this one's gross.
round 8, round 8 wide receivers, and this you could definitely say is the wide receiver dead zone when you get down in here.
Oh yeah.
These are
avoid
guys where
this.
I'm pretty much looking running back in this range, for the most part. So
Yeah. Me too.
you're on the clock. You're looking at Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman, and Michael Thomas. Who you checking on? Who you betting? Who you folding?
Oh, this is gross. So I'm going to. I mean, the one guy I know I'm going to keep is Elijah Moore. He's
All right.
fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about him.
Is he your bet or your check?
Oh no, he's bet.
Okay, so you're betting on
So
him. All
I'm
right.
betting on him, but the other two are just gross. I want to fold both.
All right, you can do that. All right, moving
Can
on.
I fold both? I'm
Absolutely. And we'll just leave it at that. All right, so we're going in, and you know me, I got Bateman as my check, and I'll fold Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
But I still think there's some upside with those guys. But just in that round, I'd rather go running back. I'd literally probably rather have Connor or Pacheco over Bateman, or not over just in that round. I would consider Bateman depending on my build, like if I needed a wide receiver or not. He was on the non-report list, but they said they did talk to him and he will be there soon. So maybe it still has to do with the foot and whatnot. But they're still, we're still 62 days away from football right now. So
hold on, I want to answer this. So Jessel
Okay.
Jones, who drafted with us today in the 6th spot, he goes, James Conner is way better than Mike Davis, and Christian Watson is more talented than Gabe Davis. And not a wide receiver 2 like Davis was, but he's the wide receiver 1 projected to get the most targets. Those comparisons don't stand, in my opinion. That's fine, and you can definitely think that's more fine and dandy.
I respect that take.
I respect it. It's fine. The reason for me to say what I did, everyone is using what Christian Watson did last year with Aaron Rodgers, a Hall of Fame quarterback, with Jordan Love, who hasn't played a snap in the NFL. Well, has played 3 snaps in the NFL. And I'm using 3 as like the fact that he started in 3 games. Like, you have to understand these are 2 different players, 2 different stats, 2 different like everything. And Christian Watson, for his credit, had a great season with Aaron Rodgers. So the whole point I'm trying to make in this particular scenario is that everyone talked up Gabe Davis last year to the point where he was being drafted in the 4th, 5th round, and he stumbled and fell. And it was because he was in that particular scenario. Green Bay has a group of they have 3 wide receiver 3s on any other team. Like, I understand Christian Watson.
I'm not going to let you.
Okay, wide receiver 2, whatever.
Jessel, I'll let him go, but I won't let him say that.
All right, that's fine.
I won't.
I don't see him
as
as
it too far right there.
No, but he's
Christian
not an
Watson's
elite
talent. Is
No.
absolutely that
he's not an
dude
elite.
can hit a home run on every play. He hasn't proven it yet.
No.
See, look what you did, Jessel. You got us arguing on here.
He is not in the elite category that you would sit there and try. No,
yeah, see,
I'm sorry.
He said, "Thank you." I got you, man. I got you. Oh,
no. See, I'm sorry. I just it's one of those things where I'd rather pass on him and grab other guys later in the rounds for the Packers. And I understand he went to the Monday night. So Jessel went to the Monday night game against the Eagles and watched Love and Watson in person. So maybe he's biased. What I saw was impressive. And
I
honestly,
the admittance to bias, because that does happen.
Hey, I appreciate it.
And we weren't, for the record, we weren't calling James Conner Mike Davis. We were relating the situation in regards to just saying, oh, he's going to get this volume on a bad offense.
Yeah.
And look at what the production happened. We're saying it could lead down that road.
Yeah.
We weren't comparing the player to player.
Yeah.
I love Connor. He brought me a championship back when he was in Pittsburgh because I drafted him late over Lev Bell. Well, I actually drafted Lev Bell in the first round,
Yeah,
put him
I
in my
remember when
IR
people
spot,
did that.
and then I
Yeah.
also drafted Connor, so I actually got both of them.
No, I think
And
James
it worked
Conner's
out
an
for me. And
incredible
the
talent.
Lev Bell basically missing my first round pick didn't matter because
Yeah.
I had Connor and basically he turned
scenario.
into my number one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
there's
just
again, I love Connor as a talent. So
me too.
yeah, we don't want to make that comparison. So again, just to
No.
clarify, but as my friend here said, he doesn't think Christian Watson is that talented, where I'm going to
No.
disagree there. And that's where we'll agree to disagree. And
but
that's
he's
okay, because
not-
that's what we're here for.
He's not an elite talent. Like I sit here and go,
okay, he possesses elite athleticism. Can we agree on that?
true, but then you
He
have
can
to
say anytime he gets the ball, he's a threat to score. That's all I have to say. And he proved
Okay.
it with beyond ridiculous touchdown percentages, which believe me, I don't think are going to be repeated over the entire season with the new quarterback. So that's where I agree with you. But I also agree with Jessel as far as he is a talent. And so I'll take him. I've drafted him. I like him more as a wide receiver 3. I don't want to trust him as my wide receiver 2. And that's kind of how I feel about it there. So
yeah,
hopefully we cleared that up. That was a good one, man.
No,
Good job.
I agree.
like when you stir the pot.
It's just I rather, like, if you look at our draft that happened, would you rather have Debo or Watson?
Ooh, that's tough. Full PPR?
Full PPR. I'll give you full PPR.
I think I'd still take Debo ahead of Watson.
Watson or
But the reason I
McLaurin.
usually don't grab Debo a lot is because I like grabbing Elijah.
Yeah, I do
Mitchell late.
too. That's fine. We're
So
just talking about
that's
the
what
player,
I mean. Yeah, but yeah, if you're just
not the
player for player in
ADP.
a
I don't care
vacuum,
about
yeah. Just to clarify, for these
Watson
people.
or McLaren.
Oh, I'll take Watson just because I'd rather have Watson and Dotson versus McLaurin and whoever else.
You gotta stop thinking that.
But
way.
this is
Watson or London.
this is how it works, man.
I know.
I'll
trying
take
to
Watson
give you
over London for sure.
okay.
Over another rookie quarterback who literally has
Amari
only played
Cooper
like
over
3 snaps.
Watson.
Oh, I'll take Cooper all day. Like he's a wide
too.
receiver 1 to me.
Calvin Ridley.
Him and DK are being disrespected. Like that's why I love getting them late as my wide receiver 1 because I think they're perfectly fine at that ADP.
I'll do Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen or Watson.
Keenan Allen or Allen for sure.
So
that's
where he went around that. What about Jerry Jeudy?
I'll take Judy over Watson.
Kurt?
Yeah, I'll take Kurt over Watson too.
Okay. So what about Mike Evans?
No, I'll take Watson over Evans. I'll take that shot.
What about
just because
what about your
targets,
boy?
no PPR.
What about your guy Godwin?
Godwin? That's really close to me, honestly. That's funny because I literally have Kirk 19, Debo 20, Judy 21. And then I have McLaurin at 24, London. Ooh, I guess I need to switch this because I actually have Drake London 25, Ayuk 26, and Watson at my wide receiver 27 right now.
I have Watson at 25, to be fair.
But I think I'm going to literally switch Watson and London right now. And I'm
I gotta move some. I gotta move some stuff around still. I did these literally today, so I need a little more time to play with it. But
yeah, so
all I'm trying to do is make you understand that he went well before a few of the guys that you already mentioned. DJ Moore, what do you think?
That's a little tougher. I think I'd go DJ Moore though, if I had to choose.
That's fine. Deontay Johnson.
I think I would take my upside chances on Watson, honestly.
Okay.
I'm not as high as DJ
That's
on
fine.
DJ as you
No,
are,
that's
but
fine.
I still love them.
Brandon Ayuk. I'll throw Brandon Ayuk in there because you talked about him before.
I literally just moved. That's the move I just did. And I think I put him literally 1 spot ahead of Watson.
Okay. But that's still Ayuk went in the 6th round and Watson went in the 4th. All I'm trying to say is you could probably, if you dropped Watson to the 6th, I'd be more than okay with that. It's just he's being drafted so high thinking that he's going to be Garrett Wilson next season. Like
Right.
that's my issue with it. It's not the talent. I think he's talented, but you have to downplay it a little bit because of this. He's getting essentially a rookie quarterback. Let's just call it a rookie quarterback. I understand he's a 3-year vet, but he's coming in for his first season. I know it's going to be a high tempo offense. They're going to change up the whole, how many plays they have per game and all that stuff. So that could affect things too. I understand all this, But my point is that he is not as talented as a lot of the other guys that are listed on this particular, just in general. And I just don't see the path that other people see that could make him. They're trying to treat him like a top 10 wide receiver when he's really a top 20 that can hit that top 10 once in a while. So that's my problem with it, not anything else. Like I said, he's talented. But anyway.
Yeah. And I know Ethan was mentioning here Debo 10.8 points per game, Metcalf 10.7 in that
he asked
PPR.
the question above it.
Oh, was
he
there?
asked Debo or Metcalf, and I like Metcalf.
Oh yeah, I'm on Metcalf too. And the problem, even though you did that, the problem is Debo missed a lot of games. I'm pretty sure Metcalf played all 18. So that's first and foremost. Debo's like, he just so rough and stuff. He just gets hurt.
Well, no, he played. I think he
Metcalf
played every game last season.
Debo? No, he missed a couple games towards the end.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I heard his name.
I thought it was in the playoffs.
No. He was there. He came back for the playoffs.
Okay.
It was right before the playoffs. He missed a couple games because there's only like 3 games where McCaffrey,
that's right. He
Debo,
missed
Ayuk,
15,
and
16,
Kittle.
17, 18.
Yeah, it was like right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to me, Metcalf should have had a lot more. I think he has some touchdown regression to the mean. He only scored 6 touchdowns, being the 4th most targeted player, not even by position, just player in general in the red zone, and only converted 6 of those touchdowns. So they're looking for him. They just got to do a little better job scheming. Things happen.
If Metcalf came to me right where you were with Cooper, I would have taken Metcalf over Cooper. And I probably would have taken Metcalf.
They literally went back to back, and I took Metcalf because it was half PPR.
Yeah.
And so I want the guy who has potential at more touchdowns.
Understood.
So that's why I went Metcalf over Cooper. But in full PPR, I'd actually put Cooper ahead. So good stuff, man. I like when you guys get us all riled up here in the chat. That's good stuff.
So he goes.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. I'm hands up. Go ahead. You got it, Mr. Producer.
I just add that he just wanted to add that Seattle just added JSN and Charbonnet as volume against DK, and Debo had a down year in theory. Just an interesting little factoid. I think DK getting
that's the only reason why he's falling to where he is because of
what
you just mentioned. Yeah. It's because of what you mentioned, but if those guys weren't there, he would easily be in that an additional tier higher. But we'll see.
Oh yeah.
I mean, players demand targets, and I think DK demands targets. Like
he's
going to be coming into his prime.
I think. I wonder. I forgot if I got him in my league.
You're able to get him like in the 4th round nowadays.
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean, you grabbed him in the 3rd.
Yeah.
I've seen him go in the 4th.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
Which is he talking about?
He's
we both agree with Lockett.
Oh yeah. Hold on, we'll go back. If y'all gonna be streaming late in the night, we're gonna be taking shots. Hopefully, when we unlock these super chats, maybe we'll take some shots if we get some super chats going. So
yeah, there you go.
That's why you guys got to subscribe, man. Get there. You say roll your sleeves up, pour them drinks up. That's why we say get right. You got to get right, man. Come get right, mock, hang out with us. That's what we do. But yeah, he says he's fading both DK and Debo. Okay. And that's fine. I understand why for sure. I definitely understand that slight Lockett. Yeah, and I have so much Lockett, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, Lockett is.
I'm all over Lockett. Like JSN, I think it's the Dynasty hype. Like I think once the casual redrafters come back, they're going to see those stats with Lockett, and I think that ADP will switch because we saw it go from JSN here and Lockett here, and then they literally went like this, and then Lockett just went ahead on underdog, and they're like literally back to back, but Lockett's right ahead now, and it sucks because I used to get like a whole round later when I get Lockett. Now they're almost kind of going back to back.
Lockett went in the 6th for us and 7th for JSN. So
yeah, and as it should. Good job, guys.
No, agreed.
That's to the draft room. Respect there. And so Jessel says he has Debo at 28 and DK at 20. Yeah. I'm high on DK, man. I honestly think I have him as like my wide receiver. I think he's like 12 or 13.
I am at 16. I have Debo at 18.
Oh, I literally have him at 11. But like, if I was going to draft him like I wouldn't draft him as the 11th wide receiver off the board. No. But as far as how I feel, that's where I feel like he should be.
And I always, and to be fair, I try to aim a little bit lower than what they would be. Like I want them to be.
Him and Cooper.
I'm trying to decide between them. I'm trying to be as close as I can to, because our draft rankings are end of year rankings. So we're trying to see where they're going to end up by the end of the year. So a lot
That's
of our
not how I do my draft rankings. I do my draft rankings based on how I'm drafting right now. Like
Okay.
if the draft were to start today, this is the list I'm using when I'm going to the.
Oh,
and
I
when the
do
guy
it.
comes
I
up,
do it where I
boom.
want him
Yeah,
to land at
that's
the end of the season.
projections. To me, that's your projections. How people are going to finish. To me, your draft rankings are how you're going to literally head into the draft with your draft cheat sheet. That's at least how I personally do it. I can't speak for
No,
you, but
no, I
it's
do
good
it for
so
the
that
other
people
way.
know. Yeah, it's good to let
Hey,
people know how you do your rankings so
yeah,
they know
that's how
what
I
you're
view it.
basing
I
that
view
on.
it
Yeah.
like I view it based on what they're going to finish at the end of the year. Like if we look at tight ends, like I always have a guy like Kyle Pitts who I don't like at all, but I have him as tight end 7 just because of the context that I think that's about where he'll land at the end of the season and giving range where he could end at the tight end 5 like he did in his rookie season. I have guys like Lamar Jackson at like right now currently I have him at QB9 and everyone can make fun of me for that. I put him there because it gives me room to move him up if I need to, but it also I honestly think he could be in that particular range. That's just my own opinion.
Yeah, no, fair.
So,
But see, but I think in your mind that's what you're kind of doing too. Like you would rather have 8 other quarterbacks before you would draft
agreed.
Lamar, right? Yeah. So that's how I kind of do it too.
Actually,
So
I probably have more. I just kind of
I was
I'm
gonna
playing
say
it. I'm playing with a lot of stuff here.
you have to, yeah, and that's kind of how I was saying with DK. I'm in the same kind of scenario. Like this is where I think he should be, but I'm not drafting him there because I know I can put him here based on
But it's
ADP.
based,
So.
but it's and we talk about it all the time where it's based on a lot of factors. If you have like I drafted Kyle Pitts. Weird. Never do this.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he was in the 8th round. I got value on him in the 8th round. Why not? Like that was a perfect spot for me.
2 wide receiver, 2 flex.
Oh, especially in 2 wide receiver and flex. I'm
Half
like, you know
PPR.
what?
Yeah.
I get good value for Pitts in the 8th round. I usually take Ingram there, but I already had I already had Ridley. So I was like, you know what? I have a great spot for him. I mean, like I said, we're not grading my team at the moment, but at the same time, I felt like I had value, so I took it.
All right, I'm gonna get us back on track then.
Well, I was going to say my only issue with Pitts last year was his ADP being drafted in the 3rd round when he shouldn't have been in the 3rd round. That's all.
3 off the board. Yeah, no, good stuff. All right, so just real quickly, we won't go into a whole synopsis.
Yeah, the last
just tell me, bet, check, or fold. I don't need reasons per se behind it. But you're on the clock with Dylan, Charbonnet, and P. Ryan in the 9th round. Who you betting on, who you checking, and who you folding?
P. Ryan bet, Charbonnet, we're going to check and fold Dylan.
Oh, even though he gave us the shout out in the
I'm sorry, Dylan.
In the intro, bro.
You're Quadzilla.
Just for Quadzilla, bro. I'm gonna bet on AJ Dillon. Let me get some of that. I'll take P. Ryan after that, and then Charbonnet just because of all my Kenneth Walker shares. I'm so pissed at you, Charbonnet.
Yeah.
I like you as a player, but you just went to the wrong backfield, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, he did.
That's crazy. But yeah, so all right, so those are our running backs there. Wide receivers going in the 9th round. You're looking at Sky Moore, the Lazard King, and Tyler Boyd. Who you betting on? Who you checking? And who you folding?
And everyone's gonna hate this take too. I'm gonna bet on Lazard in that offense.
That's hot take. Go ahead.
I think he'll do well. I know that Garrett Wilson's there. I'd go.
Jeezy, I know how to do it. We got to make sure we represent the people who represent the show here.
Yeah,
I'm always for people who are for the show.
I was.
It's all good. Go ahead.
I was gonna check Boyd and fold Sky.
I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna bet Sky, check on Boyd, and I'm gonna fade Lazard.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. So round 10, you're looking on the clock. Yeah. You're on the clock here for the people, though. I know.
For the people.
For the people. All right. So you're on the clock here. You're looking at B. Rob in round 10. Brian Robinson. You're looking at Damian Harris. You're looking at Rashad Penny. Who you betting on? Who you checking? And who you folding out of those 3?
This is actually a tough one. So for me, it's going to be I'm going to bet on Brian Robinson. I'm going to check on Damian Harris, and I'm going to fold Penny.
Let's go. I'm the same with you on that one.
Yeah, I can't.
We don't have to just
Penny just
But hey, for the
Penny's
record,
up.
I'm not hating
Penny's
on
up for trade in our Dynasty League. If anyone wants,
if anyone's interested, all right. When healthy though, the man's a beast. I'll give him that. It's just health. Like we all predicted it last year, and it literally happened like in the 3rd game.
Anybody wants him? I'll take offers. Throw them
fielding
my way.
all offers at this point. That's hilarious. All right, so there we go.
That's why I keep turning it on and off.
Oh, there it is. Keep it fresh in people's mind. I might hit you up for that. I
That's
might take
fine.
it. I need some running back depth.
Go for it.
Round 10, you're on the clock. Who you checking? Who you betting? Who you folding? Between Romeo Dobbs, Juju Smith-Schuster, and your boy Nico Collins, who I know you're
Well,
betting on. So just tell me who you're
I'm gonna
checking and
bet
who you're
Nico.
folding.
I'm betting Nico out of this group.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check probably on Juju, and I'm going to fold on Dobbs. I just
Staying on
don't.
brand, hating all Green Bay Packers this year.
It's not
You've said it
hating
in
on.
previous.
I just.
It's this is situation. We know, but it's you don't have. Hey, say it with your chest, classic. Say it with your chest.
I just don't
You're
like it.
Yeah, you're fading them just like I'm fading all Arizona. You're fading all Green Bay. You could say it.
I
Let them
am.
come at us. Hey, if they don't hate us,
I
they're not
am. I'm
watching.
sorry, Green Bay Packer fans.
All
I
news
know
is
you.
good
I
news.
know. I know how.
We got a
strong you
couple
guys
of them
feel.
here in Get Right too. So
Oh, dude, I have a bunch
Yeah.
in my chats that I'm in, and I've
Oh.
said this loud and proud. They all know how I feel. It's all good.
All right. So that's round 10. That's all we had for you. When it gets later than that, then it's just kind of you're throwing darts anyway.
Yeah, you're just.
But I thought this would be fun. Hopefully, you guys like those discussions it brought up. It was pretty fun here,
Yeah.
at least for us on this side. And hey, that's why we do this, man. I love just talking fantasy with you, and appreciate sharing it with everybody here. Hopefully, people took it. Love the people in the chat, and love when you guys don't just agree with us when you tell us we're wrong. That's great, man, because that's what brings the fire out in us. That's what has us reaching deeper in the bag when you guys bring other stats up and throw it at us, man. So keep doing it, keep contributing. Especially like Ethan, man. Love what he brings
I
to the
love
shows
what you're
every
saying,
week,
man.
man.
This is great.
We got to
and I
get this
agree.
guy on the show one day, man.
Hey, if you ever want to come on, Ethan, just reach out.
Yeah, hit us up, man. Hit us up on Twitter at Rastafarian, at Classic Mike, GRFN.
Always.
We're gonna have to get you on the show, man. We're gonna have to open up the show for actual callers to come in. That'd be fun. We're gonna have to figure that out.
Once we get
soon here.
once we get monetized,
We gotta hit our
we can definitely
1,000.
do that.
Yeah, we gotta hit our 1,000.
But
Help us get
he
there.
said in his comment for those who are listening, Juju
Mm-hmm.
feels like a PPR bargain in that Jacoby Myers role. Fun
Mm-hmm.
fact: Jacoby Myers was 10.5 points per game, only
Jacoby House
slightly
over
behind DK Metcalf last year. So
we were Jacoby
crazy.
fans last year, Ethan. We were Jacoby fans last year.
Hey man, I'm in the middle.
They're literally the same exact guy because they signed the exact same contract. You remember what he tweeted out as soon as Juju signed over there? He was like,
"Juju's bigger. Juju's like a bigger dude. Like I think Juju can do real well there. I think Parker,
especially now that Hopkins isn't going there. That was why he was really falling.
But I think
I wasn't touching him if Hopkins was going there.
Parker is a
take a
crazy steal if you can find him.
And that's usually why I don't draft Juju because I can get Parker literally in the last round.
Hey, I know how you feel. I mean,
you know how I think, man.
Starting to work like that.
It's been my answer to everything. This is just how my brain works, brother.
I know how you feel, brother. Believe me. I'm in the middle.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be doing it too, man.
Dude, the next 2 weeks are gonna be just horrible. We're in the middle of it. My wife is amazing. Shout out to my wife, Christine. You are amazing. She has been doing everything possible to get us moving. She's been yelling at me to purge. I'm just not that guy. She's very good at this, and we've been just trying to do the best.
Just follow her lead.
I'm trying. I'm just lazy. But we're at the point where we're just trying to get everything ready to move and waiting for closing. So
I just said I love Parker, man. I love getting him in the 18th round. It's fantastic. It's great value.
Oh, he says I hate hearing about my Pats wide receiver.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I was like, I actually said something good, but Devontae Parker is one of my favorite players. He won me a championship.
Oh, me too.
2 years ago against Dustin because Dustin had him and started him, and he didn't score enough points so I won.
I actually have a beef with Devontae Parker.
He put up a goose egg.
He put up a goose egg against me.
Gave me the championship. He's my MVP.
See, I got the inverse of that. I ended up getting the inverse of all of this. I was the one that got the 0 points, and I needed the points.
You were on the Dustin side.
I was on the Dustin side. If
and
I
it was
played
an
Mike
epic
Gallup,
battle.
I would have won.
Yeah. See, it was an epic battle. Just real quick, and we'll get out of here.
I'll go.
I had Jamar Chase when he broke out that year, 2 years ago, and Dustin had Amon-Ra St. Brown, and that was when Chase scored 55 and Amon-Ra scored like 49. Yeah. Like they were literally just haymakers back and forth, like all game. We were just like, he would take the lead. He like went off for 30. He would concede. Next thing you know, Jamar Chase is scoring like 70-yard touch. I mean, it was insane, dude. It was one of the best Week 17s championship games I've ever been a part of. And of course, I beat Dustin. So
I was listening to it on the way.
Fantastic.
I was going
Let's go,
upstate for
Gesicki.
I was going upstate for my grandfather's funeral at the time, and I was
Oh,
with my brother in the car listening to the Dolphins versus Saints game on Sirius XM on Monday night, and I'm sitting there listening to this game while my brother has Jalen Waddle. Now I'm not facing my brother, but I'm in a competition where if I win, I'm in the playoffs, and I just needed Devontae Parker to score a good amount because he had 15 points the week prior. And I'm like, I was
and that's
trying to
why he
figure out
got
what I wanted to
started.
do, and I didn't play Michael Gallup. I played I think I played Michael Gallup, and I didn't play Dalton Schultz or something like that. It doesn't really matter. I lost, and
Yeah.
it's all because of the goose egg that I got because I'm listening to my brother going, "Did Waddle make it? Oh, was that Waddle? Was that Waddle?" And I'm sitting there like, "Fuck you, dude! Like, I want Parker to catch one."
Sorry, man.
It was
Sorry.
horrible. It
I was going
absolutely
against you on
horrible.
that one, unfortunately.
And Ethan, I agree. I hope Mike Gesicki can turn it around as a tight end streamer this year. I want him to do well. I pushed for him last year. Roster remembers how much I wanted Mike Gesicki to do well last year.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm in the same boat.
Absolutely.
Hey, I still do.
Definitely. And speaking of which, man, if anybody's out there listening, man, you're interested in being a content creator, man, getting in this fantasy football
Yes, sir.
industry, man, we're the network, man. Get Right Fantasy Network. Come talk to me. We'll see about possibly getting you on here with the show. Maybe come on with us. We'll see what you have. We can help you get started. We have our other shows, our affiliates under us now. Not like under us, but partnered with us. And we're trying to, help them grow. As you can see, these guys here. You got the Fantasy Frontline, you got the Check Down Podcast, and you got the Dead Zone Fantasy Show, all part of the Get Right Network
All starting
lineup.
back up.
And they'll be all starting up here soon. Well, Tim and AJ, Tim's always doing the Dynasty, so
Of course.
their Dynasty over there. So he's been going, but they'll definitely start getting up there. So we'll see how that goes, man. So just hit us up if you're interested in doing that. Otherwise, if you're already on another podcast and you're watching, you want to guest on here with us or want us to guest with you, man, hit us up.
Let us know.
So other than that, man, I guess was there any other news that maybe we didn't get to like during the draft?
I mean, James Robinson and Cole Beasley went to the Giants. They signed him to 1-year deals. I mean, if you really want to read into the James Robinson thing with Barkley, you can.
Jessel's upset with us for that Parker hate right there.
No, that was
that was before he was with New England.
Gesicki.
He was
no. That's Gesicki.
Okay.
They're not enthused.
Okay. All right.
But if you really want to read into the James Robinson news, honestly, as a Giants fan, I like this move. He's a young back. He's 24 years old. I understand he's coming off an Achilles and all that fun stuff. He is a talented back. He's just really there as a camp fill-in for the time being. That's fine. Cole Beasley, I like as well. All he can do is help our receivers that are there. I understand he's a slot receiver.
Grab another slot receiver.
Another one. And they
don't
up Adam Humphries too. So I'll grab every slot receiver and make it so that no one else can get them.
You're playing bully tight. You're playing bully slot receiver.
Slot receiver.
I see what you're doing.
I mean, other than that, I don't think there was really a ton of news.
Fournette worked out for the Patriots.
But there was nothing really that
came
happened.
Of it. Yeah. Reese might be ready. Obviously, everybody knows about Jordan Addison.
Apparently, Fournette worked out with them a few times.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
Right. Jordan Addison. I'm sure you guys all know.
I mean, that was
something old. Yeah, it's just stupid.
He came out with a statement saying, that he was, he apologized and all that, which it is what it is.
Check out at Rastafari on Twitter, man. He knew he was doing that as soon as he got paid. Sure. So hopefully he just learned his lesson now. He got it out of his system. And my comment on there was, bro, you make millions, just go rent out a track. Like my brother-in-law works at a track in Arizona. You can go rent out your cars there and take your cars on a track and just boom, however fast you want to go. And be safe about it. Like don't.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Hey, I've driven a Skyline on a track at 140 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, go do it. If you can do it, Jordan Addison can do it. I mean, come on.
And I had to spend money to do it. I only spent like $400 on it. You can spend whatever
that's
you
nothing
want.
to him. Yeah, that's a not even a tire.
That was for 12 laps
car.
too. That was
on
crazy.
that Lamborghini. Yeah.
No,
that's good stuff.
Nissan Skyline. I made sure that I picked a good car. I like that car.
No, I'm saying Jordan Addison was in his
Lambo. It was
a
Lambo.
Yeah. So other than that, Commanders got sold. Dan Snyder's out.
Which is great. Good for him.
Absolutely. So shout out to all the Washington
He
fans
just
out
became
there.
a billionaire after committing all these horrible things. Yeah,
Six
no
point
big deal.
something billion.
No big deal.
If the Washington's worth $6 billion, what are the Cowboys worth? Like 10 billion? 15 billion?
They are the
They
high.
have to be the most.
Yeah, I think they're number 1 for NFL, and I think Giants are like 2 or 3.
Oh wow.
I forgot the numbers.
Good
Something like
stuff.
that. Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. So so shout out to all the Washington fans out there. I hope you guys change the name back to the football team because
Yeah, they're
honestly,
either good.
honestly,
said
that's
that they
been my
might do
favorite
it.
name. Yeah, I was like, that's literally been my favorite name.
I
The
didn't-
Washington football team.
The other one that they were gonna use, but someone took the name. I think was the not the Guardians because someone else did that already. It wasn't Commanders. It was the Sentinels or something like that. Like I thought that one was a good one.
you
I
can't
thought
even
the
remember it. It
Sentinel-
wasn't good.
Well,
It wasn't good enough.
I
Or
like
so
the
it would've
Red
been good.
Tails one that they thought about. I thought that one would be a nice one.
Then you'll have
But-
some other group coming out saying that's you
Yeah.
can't do that. Anyway,
Well,
we already
whatever.
spent too much time talking about Washington.
Agreed.
All right, so so what else we got to do, man? Let's end this thing.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, though, of course, got to say, if you want to take your leagues to the next level, go check out TrophySmack.com, man.
Of course.
Get yourself a belt, get yourself a ring. They got chains, trophies, whatever it is, man. Go check them out. If you don't have one of these prizes for your winner in your leagues, man, pony it up. One of those rings right there in a 12-person league is only like $12 per person
10.
extra, or 10 to 12 bucks, I think, with shipping and stuff to get
Oh,
the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So check it out. Because if you want to customize it, it's a little bit more.
Oh, whatever.
So it's like $12 a person because I'm looking at getting it for our Dynasty League this year. Your Kirk Cousins chain, of course. So make sure you check that out. Use that promo code GetRight when you check out, and that would help us out. So again, keep in mind our mock draft tournament of champions starting up here. So spread the word, get in the mock, earn your way into the Friday semifinals, place top 3 there, earn your way into our finale on September 1st. And it'll be an actual best ball league that will get played out. And the winner of that will take home a $50 cash prize. So tell your friends, get out there, come mock with us.
And be available to draft around that time.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, don't auto out. 2 auto picks and you're disqualified. So we don't play around.
Oh,
there.
that too. If you're going to be doing these during the week, if you auto, you will not qualify.
Yeah.
So if you want to draft,
I just said all that. I just said disqualified. Boom, done. They know what that means.
Well, just being clear. This is
We're trying to get
you
out
know
of
how I feel about that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. That's cool. All right. So again, we want to, of course, give a shout out to our affiliates again, Tim and AJ, of course, over at the Fantasy Frontline. You got Cody McGoats, Shirtless Pat, and the fellas over at the Checkdown Podcast, and then of course our newest addition to the network, starting up this year, here soon, the Fantasy Dead Zone with your boy Adam, aka Dim Boys, DC for life, or 4L, as you guys might know him on Sleeper. So make sure you guys come out, support them. Links are in the podcast. Subscribe. So we'll get right to it. And like I said, if you want to get your own show or are interested in that, hit me up. You can email me at getrightff@gmail.com or DM me on Sleeper or Twitter at Rastafarian, and we'll help you out. Let's talk. So yeah, man, other than that, I think that's it.
Yes,
anything
sir.
else you got to add?
No, not
All
at
right,
all.
man.
You said it all.
There it is. All right, man. So for myself, for Classic Mike, for Frank, who will be here on Monday to grade these
Oh, that's
things.
right. Make sure
We'll
you guys
see
come back Monday. There
Frank's
you go.
appearance. He's coming. So Frank will be here on Monday, man. For Dustin, he'll get on here hopefully soon. Life happens, dealing with it, but he'll be here soon. Still working hard behind the scenes, staying up to date with everything we're doing, of course, and all you guys. You can always still reach him on Twitter at Chasing a Million. Contact info's in there. Got questions for him? Then let's do it. Definitely appreciate it. Ethan, he says thanks laptop and thanks Mike.
Nice.
So I like, you see what I did? I changed
Nice.
it to AKA laptop. So I guess I got
like
a little nickname here. So that's a lot of fun. So from all of us here at Get Right Fantasy Network, man, we appreciate it. Thanks for spending your Friday with us. If you're watching afterwards, hopefully you enjoyed that draft. The link to the draft is actually in the description if you want to check out the draft board itself. So check it out in there. Other than that, make sure you're part of our Sleeper private channel. That's in the description too. So peace out, man. Hit the intro. We'll see you guys next time.
Right fantasy is the play. Marking nothing but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided.